every single time, viewers, there is a crackdown. There is a crackdown on those suspected of laundering money in our country. Those at the receiving end of Enforcement Directorate's action powered by the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, they cry foul. These people come out and say that all these investigative agencies are abusing the law. Yes. Those at the receiving end of Enforcement Directorate's actions powered by the Prevention of Money Laundering Act cry foul. Their charge is that the law is wrong. The process that emerges from it and the party in power is misusing it. So much so that some of those who have been raided, summoned and arrested like Karti Chidambaram, Mehbooba Mufti and Anil Deshmukh among others move the courts to curb the powers of the Enforcement Directorate that flow from the law to check money laundering. But today this group got a reality check, viewers. The court has dismissed out of hand their pleas, citing violation of safeguards and arbitrariness by the central agency. Let's go into some detail. First, the Apex Court said there is no arbitrariness in the provision of the Act that empowers the ED to conduct searches and seizures. The Supreme Court has also said attachment of property of those involved in money laundering is legally valid under the law. The Supreme Court said this. 3-judge bench led by Mr. Khanvilkar, Justice Khanvilkar. The Supreme Court has also refuted arguments placed by the tainted mantris that the law is unfair as it shifts the burden of proof of guilt on the accused. More than this, the Supreme Court has termed the onerous bail conditions reasonable. In perhaps the most significant part of its order, the 3-judge bench also said it is not mandatory for the ED officers to disclose the grounds of the arrest at the time of detaining an accused in a money laundering case. This is very significant. The Supreme Court verdict comes, of course, on a day when the Congress has been out on the streets yet again, protesting the ED summons to Sonia Gandhi in connection with money laundering probe into the National Herald case. The question now to be asked is whether the Congress and other parties will stop bashing the Enforcement Directorate. That's the fundamental question. I don't want to delay the debate. I want to go straight across. Sanjay Jha, Dr. Shashi Panja, Minister in charge, Department of Women and Child Development and Social Welfare, National Spokesperson, the TMC with us. Dr. Panja, the ED is acting against a minister of your government. You have called the ED all sorts of names. You have said that it acts at the behest of a government. Some of your colleagues in other political parties moved the courts, seeking curbs on the Enforcement Directorate, on the laws that enable or empower the Enforcement Directorate. Viewers, and Dr. Panja, the Supreme Court did not listen to you. Is the time now for expressing certain regret, number one. Number two, taking back your words. Number three, going out there and cooperating with the process? Simple question, Dr. Panja.
Good evening, Rahulji, and good evening to everybody else.
Good evening, ma'am.
Rahulji, do not misinterpret. I mean, there were almost about 100 petitions which were actually challenging the provisions, the various provisions in the PMLA.
True.
2000. So, this constitution does guarantee us the right to file petitions or to submit certain, but at the same time, we know that Supreme Court is binding on everybody, and we of course respect the judicial. We are just worried or deeply concerned about the encashing on the misuse of the laws, the various provisions, politically. So that is what we are concerned about. But what we are seeing in Bengal is, and our Honorable Chief Minister has very clearly said, twice, even today she said, and in the other day, that the investigation should be there, independent, it should have the autonomy, it should not be influenced by any extraneous factors. And two, it's what we are really worried is the perception which is building around it. So the investigation should be on, of course. We are all saying that the investigation should be on, and the moment the person that you were mentioning is found guilty, even the party will take action and even the government will take action. We are not objecting to the investigation. We are not objecting to the interrogation. But what we are saying that the perception which builds around it, and I mean, no wonder, much as Supreme Court has said today about this, Supreme Court has also, Honorable Chief Justice of India has also questioned the falling credibility of these institutions, of these central agencies, has also suggested that there should be an independent umbrella under which the CBI, ED and other SFIO should come under one roof. Supreme Court has also said, talked about the arrests, that they should not be indiscriminate. So much as Supreme Court has also spoken today about the constitutional validity of the PMLA, the various provisions which were being challenged, it has also in the past made certain observations about what is happening in and around the country.
Dr. Panja, let's make two distinctions here. One is, did the Congress and other members of the opposition and other political parties try to ring-fence the ED with serial petition, or rather, ring-fence the accused by filing serial petitions about the constitutionality of the PMLA Act, only to be rebuked by the Supreme Court? That's the first question, which you haven't answered. I'm asking you that question pointedly. The second matter, of course, is one about the credibility of the investigative process and its ability to conclude investigations in a manner that lead to convictions. On that count, I don't think there should be any debate. In 2004 to 2014, there were 112 raids, 0 convictions, charge sheets were 114, assets attached, 5,346. The figure to be noted here is 0 convictions, viewers. In 2014 to 2012, convictions rose to 23, but the raids also increased to 3,010. There was a 27% increase in ED crackdown under NDA, asset attached 99,000 crore, charge sheets 888. So everything increased. You could say perhaps the ED has become overactive because it is being pushed by its masters or whatever you want to call them to take action, or you could say that the government of the day has zero tolerance towards corruption. Wherever they even think that there is a hint of it, they set the process in motion. The conviction rate, however, remains abysmal. It's abysmal. So let's put that aside. We can come to that later. I'm only asking you about this ring fencing by calling into question the PMLA to curb the ED. Very simple, straightforward answer. Give it me short so I can open this up to others. Do you believe that this was the intention? Simple.
Are you asking me or Sanjay ji?
I'm asking you. I'm asking you, Dr. Panja. I'm asking
you. As much as you mentioned these statistics, we are just worried that, yes, the harassment is on, the raids are on, the searches are on, but you have not been able to convict them.
That's a separate issue,
That is the harassment that we are talking.
That's a separate issue.
So how does it vindicate then? How does it vindicate
anyone from conducting an investigation? At that point, no one knows if the investigation will lead to a conviction or not. The point is the Supreme Court has upheld search, seizure, asset seizure,
attachment,
arrest, all of that.
Attachment and seizure.
Upheld it. So I'm only asking, was an attempt being made to stymie the ED by forcing this court case? Yes or no?
No, absolutely no.
Okay, absolutely
because
not.
our government is also intolerant to corruption. Our government is also intolerant to corruption.
Well, if you were intolerant to corruption, you may not have entertained continuing with the accused right now in the scam.
There is no charge sheet yet. Well, Rahul ji, there's no charge sheet, no prosecution yet.
Okay, there's an FIR.
I'm not defending him. I am not defending him.
Okay. There was none against the Goa Chief Minister either when the governor supposedly alleged that he was involved with corruption, but the Goa Chief Minister, you asked for his resignation forthwith. So I just want to point that out to you also. So slightly duplicitous, but nonetheless. Let me go across to Sanjay Jha. Sanjay Jha, simple question to you. You are out on the streets defending Sonia Gandhi's pride. You are attacking public property to save her face. Today, the Supreme Court has colored your face red. This attempt by Karti Chidambaram, an MP from your party, to try and browbeat the ED by questioning the nature of the PMLA Act has failed. What do you say now?
Well, Rahul, let me give you a politically agnostic answer, because the truth is that today you have a BJP and you have an ED, and the Congress and the others are saying that the ED, along with CBI, etc., has become an instrument of political harassment. With the powers that the ED has been given after today's Supreme Court verdict upholding, which I believe are pretty draconian powers, tomorrow if there's a change in government, another party can oppose it. So I do believe somewhere down the line, the question is not about the fact that money laundering is a serious economic crime, and it does require a strong law to protect the perpetrators of crime from carrying on and getting away scot-free. But, I mean, that is the fundamental issue you can't ignore. Number one, is it being abused? Number two, the conviction rate.
Clearly it is not. Search, seizure, arrests are not abused. The Supreme Court has said it. It flows from the law, and the ED is empowered. They can even, in fact, arrest without giving you a reason. Nalin, Kohli, are you satisfied with what Sanjay Jha and Dr. Panja are saying in their defense? Mr. Kohli?
Well, they are entitled to their view. I have a completely contrarian view. The fundamental point before the Honorable Supreme Court was validity of certain sections of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The Supreme Court is not a political party. It will go by what it has to adjudicate in terms of the legal position. It has upheld that law. There is a nexus between what the sections say and what the objectives of the Act is. And the Act's objectives are obvious. It's prevention of money laundering and proceeds of crime. In each one of the opposition party people whom they parrot and say that they are, cases of unnecessary harassment, huge sums of unexplained wealth has been found. 20 crores, 21 crores, unexplained properties, multiple properties. A person's net worth can be known from his income tax or her income tax returns. Now, if there is no corruption or no money laundering or there is no proceeds of crime, it's very easy. This is my income, this is the trail of the money, this is the asset creation. It's not very complicated. Now, the second part is they say that, look, this is all the misuse by the BJP. The counter question is, if anyone has a problem with any act or with any person, you can file a private complaint also under section 200 of the CRPC. But the most important reason is, why is the opposition and particularly the Congress party building this argument? The reason is the AGL case. I mean, here is a political party, the Congress party. It's a political party. It is supposed to take funds from the people for political activity. It's not a bank. BJP. It's not an NBFC.
Okay, scared that they will be opposed.
No, it's not just they will be exposed. It is they have no answer. They have no answer why a political party was giving money to a company.
Let me bring in Karan Verma, Mohandas Pai. Let's not go back into the politics of it.
That's the crux of it.
Can it be denied, Karan Verma, that several amendments to the PMLA were made during the UPA tenure as well? Can it be denied that the Supreme Court even quotes the Finance Minister in 2005, Mr. P. Chidambaram, when he was specifically seeking some amendments to the Act? I think at that time it wasn't P. Chidambaram, I think it was Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, whichever one of the two. Yes.
Look, Rahul, the fact of the matter is that today is a landmark day in empowering the ED. And we've been hearing this time and again, that politics of vendetta, and Dr. Panja just said that perception is badly affected by that. Well, it is so easy to blunt the arguments. If piles of cash are discovered from a residence, or if there is a case of disproportionate assets, it can be proven in a matter of minutes if you establish a trail of income and assets. So, if they really want to improve their perception in the public eye, they can do it in a matter of minutes. Why hide behind the axiom innocent till proven guilty? Okay. And I'm so glad today that the Supreme Court has upheld the section 24, which talks about the reverse burden of proof. If there is unexplained cash, the burden of the proof is now on the accused to prove that this is untainted money. Well, it cannot go on. And I'm so surprised that Mr. Sanjay Jha or Dr. Panja, with due respect,
Karan Verma, sorry, I'm running out of time. Mohandas Pai, quickly, sir, 30 seconds. What do you make of this?
Yeah.
What do you make of this?
No, Rahul, it is very clear they tried to use the court proceed to stop the cases against them. The Supreme Court has spoken. Now the ED should accelerate the prosecution, file the charge sheet and get answers in the court. The problem also is that there have been too many cases We need accelerated prosecution to improve the credibility of the entire process and stop such unjust criticism. And I think it's important. We have gone through a great case where the Supreme Court has clarified the law is very clear.
Yes.
Now they can't use the excuse. Now I hope the convictions come and the prosecution is done quickly in the next 1 year so that we stop this corruption.
Yes, absolutely. Now the test really is of the ED. Can it prove its cases? It should have no reasons now to claim otherwise. I'll leave it at that. The news are up next.